Hi, let's take a brief walk on staff notation. The staff is defined as a set of five horizontal parallel lines with four spaces in between the lines, on which musical notes or symbols are written or placed. In counting the lines or spaces, always remember to start from the bottom to top. The music on a staff are read from left to right. This is an empty staff with five lines and four spaces. This is the first line, the second line, the third line, the fourth line, and the fifth line. In between these lines are four spaces. This is the first space, the second space, the third space, and the fourth space. Musical notations, note values, and rest. Musical notation is a set of symbols, markings, and characters that represent rhythms, pitches, and other instructions to musicians. This is a note called crotchet. A crotchet has a stem and a head. This is a quaver. A quaver has a head, a stem, and a flag. Also introduced as a dot. A dot is used to extend the value of a note by half of its original value. These are two quavers connected with a beam. Note values are referred to the different durations of a musical note. A rest is a symbol that indicates a period of silence for a length of time. These are some notes with their rest equivalent, their British names, their American names, and value. Taken for instance, the first one is called a brave. In America, it's called a double whole note, while the value is 8 bits. The equivalent rest is double whole rest, and so on. Clefs and note positions on the staff. Clefs are symbols that determine which note later names belongs to the lines and spaces of a staff. The most commonly used are treble clef, also known as the G clef, and the bass clef, which is also known as the F clef. The grand staff is the combination of two staffs. Ledger lines are used to add notes that are too high or too low to be contained in the staff. Here we have an example of a grand staff. A grand staff having, having a combination of the treble clef and the bass clef. On the treble clef, we have the first note of the first line is E, the second one is G, the third one is B, the fourth one is D, and the fifth one is F. While the spaces contained on the treble clef, the first note or the first key is F, the second one is A, the third one is C, and the fourth one is E. Simply memorized as face, while the line C, every good boy does fine. You can formulate your own words as desired. Then on the bass clef, the first line is called the G, the second is B, the third is D, the fourth is F, and the fifth one is A. Good boys do fine always. While the spaces on the bass clef, the first one is A, the second one is C, the third one is E, and the fourth one is G. Simply put, all cars eat gas. The treble clef is also called the G clef simply because it rests on the G note or the G key, while the bass clef is called the F clef because the two dots rest on the F key or the F note on the staff. We equally talked on ledger lines. If you observe here, we have additional lines that are added to the treble clef to contain notes that are too high to be contained on the treble clef. And below it also you have a ledger line containing our middle C, which you can get on sitting on your piano. The C key that faces you directly is called the middle C. While below the bass clef also we have additional ledger lines containing notes that are too low to be contained on the bass staff. So from here we can see the different keys that are contained on the staff based on the two number ledger lines added below the bass clef. So we have B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on up to D. Pitch. Sharp, flat, and natural notes. Pitch is the degree of highness or lowness of a sound or a note. They are represented with the musical alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, and G on the staff, and all the white keys on the keyboard, natural notes. A sharp sign indicates a note half step higher than the natural note. A flat sign indicates a note half step lower than the natural note. Natural notes cancels out a previously indicated sharp or flat sign. They cancel out a previously indicated sharp or flat on a key signature. The symbols. We have a sharp, a flat, natural, double sharp, and double flat are all called accidentals. Here we have an explanation on pitch. Notes go up in pitch, they get higher. This, from this example, is the lowest note in the selection. Then this is the highest note in the selection. While in this particular staff, this is the highest note in the selection, while this is the lowest note in the selection. Notes that go down in pitch, they get lower. So pitch can either be up, or coming down. Another example here on the staff, we have a sharp in front of the G musical alphabet or musical note, which makes it a G sharp. Here we have a note on A with a flat indicated, which makes it A flat. So we can say G sharp is equal to A flat. Let me explain. Here, this is G and this is A. In finding sharp, you go a half step higher. So going a half step from G, you're going to have this particular key here. Going a half step, that is a half step higher, we have G sharp. And then this is A. Going a half step lower, we have the same key as A flat. So we can say that G sharp is equal to A flat. Another example here is the note E having a sharp indicator, which makes it E sharp. And another one here, F, having a natural note indicated, which makes it what? F natural. So we can say E sharp is equal to F natural. This is our key of E. Going a half step higher, we have what we call the E sharp. Then this is our F natural. So we can say G sharp is equal to A flat, E sharp is equal to F natural. You can try it on other keys on the keyboard or the stuff. Note, notes that have different names and sound same are called enharmonic notes. Measure or bar and time signature. A measure divides a staff into smaller units with the use of bar lines. As indicated, this is a measure, this is another measure, this is another measure, or you can call them bar or bars. Bar. So the lines here that connects measure or divides measure is called a bar line. This is another bar line. So that's all for measure and bar lines. Time signature indicates the number of notes or beats per measure and the kind or type of note. The upper number indicates the number of notes or the number of beats, while the lower number indicates the kind of note. So we have an example here. This is a 4/4 time signature. This is our common time signature represented with a C, which is something as 4/4. This is a 2/2 time signature. This one is a cut time signature, which is something as 2/2. This is a 2/4 time signature. This is a 3/4 time signature. There's a 6/8 time signature. We have other types of time signature. Tempo. Tempo defines the speed or the pace at which a musical piece is written or performed. We split them into three categories here. The slow tempo, having the entire Italian names and the meaning. Grave means extremely slow, and extreme, or extremely slow, and solemn. Adagio, very slow. Lento, slow. Largo, slow and broad. Legato, less slow than largo. I have the medium tempos. The Italian name we have the Andante, which is meaning written there. Adantino, moderato, allegretto. Then the fast tempo, we have the con moto, allegro vivace, veloce, rapido, presto, prestissimo. And we have some other types of tempos. It defines the speed or the pace of a musical piece. Dynamics. Dynamics define the loudness or the softness of a written or performed music. The volume. We have dynamics here. The Italian have what called the pianissimo, which is having symbol of PP. We have another one, the PPP, which is same as pianissimo. The meaning, as soft as possible. We have the piano, P, soft, and the rest of it under the dynamics. We have others not listed here also. Variation in volume. We have the crescendo, gradually louder, decrescendo, gradually softer, and the rest of it all. Then we have the style of playing. The brillante or the con brio, with brilliance or vivacity, and the rest of it all. So under dynamics, we can play a piece either louder or softer. So it defines the loudness or the softness of a written or a performed music. Key signature. The key signature can be defined as the number of sharps or flats indicated in between the clef and time signature, which can be altered within a musical piece. Key C major and A minor have no sharps or flats. This is key C major, it has no flats, no sharps. This is key A minor, it has no flats, no sharps. Then this is a section of our major keys with sharps. The first one is G major, which has only one sharp, and that is F sharp. And the rest of it, there's a category of major keys with flats. The first one being F major with one flat, which is the B flat. We have this section of minor keys with sharps, and the first one is E minor, having only one sharp, which is on G. So what do we say about G major and E minor? They are relative. Then the last one here is the minor keys with flats. Here we have the D minor, which is having one flat, same as B flat, same as F major. So we can say that these keys are relative. F major is relative to D minor. And compare other keys also by studying and finding out how they relate. Thank you. Feel free to drop a question or questions or a topic or a subtopic you want an in-depth view for discussions. You can equally click on the subscribe button for pop-ups on coming videos.